So sorry if the title and thumbnail are misleading, but this isn't actually going to be a review of the product. It's going to be a review of my full experience with purchasing the product, the fault I had, and then trying to get it returned. So it's really actually a review of iTech rather than the product, but I really want you to see this because it is relevant if you are looking at purchasing this product. Because if I can save even one person from the hassles that I'm dealing with trying to get this faulty product returned, then I'll be happy. So here is my experience from beginning a month ago to now, where I still haven't got the product returned for a fault that it has. Why did I purchase this specific product? It's pretty simple. I live in this van. I needed something mainly to power my fridge. That was the priority. I wanted something that was super long lasting that I could really depend on to work. You know, they advertise this as for the Australian conditions and blah, 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 blah. So I just wanted a product that was just going to work, last a long time. And then on top of that, if there were any issues, were going to be easy to deal with. Because I had just come off dealing with a Chinese company, a product that I ordered from them. And when you order from a non-Australian company, you have to pay for customs. So I paid shipping here, then I paid $400 in customs. I had an issue and then I had to pay shipping back, which was another $100, and now I'm having to chase up customs and border patrol, and they're referring me to like FedEx, and like it's such a mess just to try and get my $400 custom money back, which I don't even know if I'll get back, quite frankly. So I wanted an Australian company so I wouldn't have to deal with that, and I wanted one with really good service so that I wouldn't have to deal with all this terrible customer service should I have any issues. Because even now I have another product that I got which is from an Australian company, a Max Air fan, but trying to return it to them is taking me like months to deal with it. I'm just so over dealing with companies and their horrible support. The other problem was I left it a little bit till last minute, so I did want something that would ship quickly. Long story short is I had about 3 to choose from. iTech was going to ship pretty quickly and I was hoping they would have good customer service. Now I hate with a passion companies that always put their products on sale. I despise it, but for whatever reason with power supplies, all of the companies were doing it. Every company that I looked at were like frequently on sale for quite a lot cheaper. I can tell you now, if one of them wasn't doing that, I would have gone with them because I just despise companies that do that. So I have purchased iTech products before. However, I've never actually had to return them because I never ended up using them, but that's a longer story. So I know that their products are always on sale. So I managed to get this one, the PS3600 PRO, for $4,500. So I purchased the PS3600 PRO for $4,500. I get it delivered to my parents' house. It arrives, it comes on a crate because it's a really heavy unit. It's not super big, but it is really heavy, and so there's a lot of padding that they put into the box because of that weight. I unpackage it, I get it out, I fully charge it, and I wanted to test it out with my fridge from 100% to 0% to see if the claims that they make are true or not, you know, how closely they hold up. My fridge is a Dune 4-wheel drive Frontier 80-litre dual zone fridge freezer, and it draws 7 amps at 12 volts. I tested it under what I think is like ideal conditions. I had it set up as a fridge, which was set to 5 degrees, and a freezer, which was set to -5 degrees. And I had them both about half full or a bit over half full, so that it's not just running empty, because that's going to use a lot more power. Whereas if you have something in it, it's almost like storing that coldness. And the weather at the time was almost perfect. It was between 10 and 20 degrees. It didn't get too hot. It didn't get too cold for the power supply. It was just sort of, because there are so many factors that can change how long that's going to last, which is why I always find these broad sort of it lasts this many days things to be pretty inaccurate. So under those what I would consider pretty ideal conditions, it lasted 7 days. Their website claims approximately 16 days, but what you'll see here is for a 0.8 amp draw. Now the odd thing is I'm not sure what fridge runs at 0.8 amp draw. That is a very low draw, and I'm looking up small fridges right here. There's a 15-litre Brass Monkey, and that draws 3.8 amps. If we look at like a really well-renowned brand of fridge, an average sort of size fridge that you might have in a camper, look at this 30-litre Angle drawer fridge that is also drawing 3.4 amps. So I have no idea what fridge they were using willing to make this test of 16 days at a 0.8 amp draw. That sounds ridiculous to me. But anyhow, I just included that to give you some idea of like real world numbers that you're gonna get out of this product. Now, unfortunately, during my testing, the screen went faulty. I tried all the normal troubleshooting stuff. I turned it off, I turned it on, I turned it off for a bit longer, I turned it on again. You know, what else do you do? But I didn't want to plug it into charge because I was still doing the test. So I said, okay, let's let the test finish, and then maybe by having the battery fully die and then having me fully charge it, it might fix the screen issue. So once the test was finished, it died and I fully charged it. It did not fix the screen issue. So I sent a message to iTech to let them know the screen was faulty. I sent this video with the email. Their AI responded immediately, as an AI should. I wish that their AI would be handling this whole thing, because it would have been so much better than their support. Like, this is one of those times where I'm like, give me the AI, like, I don't want the humans. So I sent that message and I waited a week. It had been over a week and I hadn't heard from them. And during that time, because I can't read the screen properly, right, I thought it was at 95%, but it turned out it was at 35 or something like that. There was a large discrepancy and the power supply died and my stuff in my fridge spoiled. So I had to empty that out because I hadn't realized that it had died. I thought it would have lasted based on my testing. So at this point I'm like, look, this is a major fault because I can't use this product as is, because I can't gauge any idea of the state of charge, the discharge, what I'm charging it at, because I'm trying to charge it on my cigarette lighter, which didn't appear to have any impact at all on the charge. Like, it was just equaling out what the fridge was using, and I currently don't have another good way of continuing to charge it. I even bought their solar panel, the biggest solar panel you could get, and that did have an impact, but it was pretty small. So basically I'm thinking, you know, even if I wanted to keep this thing, if they're taking over a week to respond, then how long am I gonna have to go without power in my van for them to repair or replace it? Like, that could be months. So I sent a follow-up email saying, look, just give me a full refund. And at that point I begin to look into other options again, so that I don't have to go without a fridge and I can order another product and then send this faulty one back for a refund. Again, their AI is great, really quick to respond. So they respond to the first email I sent 10 days later, and their response is a link to their returns portal. They say, please ensure the product is faulty. Yes, I've done that, and the portal will guide me through the return instructions, including the shipping details. Okay, I open up the portal, except it only gives me the option to request a repair or a replacement, and I wanted a refund. So same day I reply back saying, hey, not sure if you got my second email, but I'm looking for a refund, not a repair. Not long after that, they responded to my second email, giving me the same link to the returns portal, except now they've also added a link to troubleshooting. I checked the troubleshooting guide. Of course, it has nothing in it for my issue, and I find it odd that they're asking me to determine if it's faulty. Like, maybe I'm asking too much, but my expectation was kind of that I would get a call from a technician at some point. Maybe they want to do a live video call, maybe they would run through all the troubleshooting steps and they would establish that, yeah, this is clearly faulty. Like, there has to be less tech savvy people out there than me that they might think they have an issue, but it turns out they just needed to flick a switch or reset it or whatever. There was no attempt to guide me through fixing anything. It was just like, you need to establish it's at fault. Then I immediately get a follow-up email asking me to rate the support I was given, and that's relevant for later. I reply to the email and tell them the concern is that when I go to the return portal, I only get the option to repair or replace, not refund. And I also confirm that I have done my own troubleshooting to the best of my ability. Thankfully, it appears once you get someone, once they're assigned to your ticket, they do begin to respond quickly. So they say I need to select the repair option, and that they've added a note on the account that I would like a refund once it's confirmed faulty. And that once confirmed faulty bit felt a little bit weird to me in how they worded it, because at this point I've dealt with a lot of dodgy brands and, you know, I'm just trying to get everything as clear as possible. So I replied, look, hey, if you think I'm faking the fault, you know, I can walk you through a video, I can do any of the troubleshooting steps you want me to, like, help me out here, help me fix it at home if I can, help me show you that it's clearly faulty. Because now I'm getting concerned that, say I ship it back and it gets damaged in shipping, they might claim I damaged it, or say I ship it back to them, they get it. What's stopping them from opening fixing it, sending me a video and being like, look, it's fine on our end. It must have just needed a reboot or something, you know, therefore we're not going to honor your refund. Or, you know, they could pour water all over it and claim it's damaged. Like, there's nothing stopping them on their end from that. So I'm just a little bit weary at this point. And the reason that the screen still works, as I showed in the video, so if you have a smashed like phone screen or any screen, as you know, or a water damaged screen or any kind of damage, it doesn't work like at all. There are not states in which it works. So when I change the charging input wattage, it wouldn't be functional on that display either, unless they're like two separate displays or so. I don't know, like, to me it doesn't make sense. Again, he replies pretty responsive, and I think, in my opinion at least, what they're clarifying is basically they need to establish whether or not it's a fault from the actual product or the user, which, you know, that's fair obviously, because people do mistreat a lot of their stuff. But I do wish they would give me some more confidence that they're not going to do anything dodgy and that there clearly is a fault. The way they're wording it is like, we don't even know if it's faulty, but it's like, it's faulty, it's just we don't know if it's our fault or your fault. I think a lot of this is just poor wording. The other thing they mentioned was if it falls within warranty, which is another thing that a lot of dodgy companies love to do. They skirt around the warranty. Oh, you're not within the warranty period, that's not covered by warranty. Oh, even though we gave you like a full warranty, this one little component's not technically covered, like, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I'm like, all right, let's just go ahead with this. I figure, look, I'll just make sure that it's packaged to their standards so we'd have no issue with shipping, and I'll take a video right before I package it to show the condition it's in. And at this point now I'm on my laptop because it's easier to do things on my laptop, and I log into the returns portal and it's not loading. So I figure, probably down, I'll try again tomorrow. Tomorrow rocks around, back on my laptop trying the returns portal, still not working. I got a reply from the first email thread where I said I want a refund, and they also confirmed that the note has been added to get a refund or to initiate a refund. Who knows how long that process is actually going to take. And I'm trying to get this returns portal loading, and it's not. So I send an email to them telling them it's not working. They reply a day later, they say there's no issues, I've been trying this whole time and it's just not loading for me. I reply back, I say it's still not working, and I never heard back from this person. No response from them since then, no help. So I had to go and troubleshoot their portal myself, and what I ended up realizing was the problem was that their returns portal will not load if your IP is coming from a known VPN IP, which is just, number one, is so ridiculous because the amount of people that use VPNs these days, like, there's a lot of people that use VPNs for a lot of different reasons. You know, products just come with VPNs practically, and so having a returns portal that doesn't work using known VPN IPs is just ridiculous to begin with. And the reason it took me so long to troubleshoot that was because I had a VPN on my phone, and the first time I loaded the page I was using my phone, so I thought, well, it's not the VPN. But it turns out because I had just restarted my phone, the VPN didn't actually connect, so I actually wasn't on it. And anyway, to save you all the troubleshooting, the long story short here is that their support didn't even help me. They didn't even give me like basic troubleshooting steps, like, have you restarted your computer or whatever. They haven't even responded to that email. So again, like, I'm putting myself in the mind of like, what if I was not so tech savvy? What if I couldn't troubleshoot this myself? I would still be trying to load their portal. Like, that is such bad support. Truly believe that you don't know how good a company is or isn't until you have to return something for a refund, or until you have to do something that is not in the monetary benefit of that company. Like, do they really try to help you, or do they just make your life miserable so that you give up and, you know, they don't have to do whatever, or they don't have to cancel your membership or whatever it is? That refund process, that process which doesn't benefit them, is what I truly believe shows you if a company is good or not. So now I'm filling out this returns page, and they want an explanation as to the issue, the fault. I want you to describe it. Great. I start typing and then it just stopped. I can't type anymore. Turns out they put a character limit on the warranty claim. So here they are asking you to provide details, all this information, when it started, how it affects the use, troubleshooting tips, and then they give you a character limit. Now I took a video of me doing this somewhere, but I can't find it at the moment. But what you see on the screenshot was the max characters, whatever that is. I couldn't exceed it. So they have this big ass box and they want you to answer all these questions, and then they only let you write what looks like less than a 280 character tweet. Like, so ridiculous. So I put in what I felt was important. Again, this whole time I'm losing confidence in this company, which was to confirm that I want a refund because I'm not trusting that they put that note on there. And at this point, given what was described to me earlier, I am expecting from here out a smooth flowing automated process. I fill this in, they immediately generate me a return PDF PDF label. Maybe they send the packaging to the original address if need be. They have a little option that says or to a new address. I package it up, I return it, bada bing, bada boom. Nope, I gotta wait some more. So 5 days later, 5 days, I get an email saying they need to know a time between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. on a weekday that I will be home, and they ask if I have a printer. Again, if you don't already know, I'm living out of a van, hence why I wanted the power supply. I think it's safe to assume that a large percentage of people who are buying these are those living in vans or caravans or such. So I do not have a printer, and at this point I was 3 hours out of Sydney. So I don't know how you interpret the wording of the email, but when they say we need to arrange a pickup of the battery, the impression I get is that someone's going to come to the original shipping location and pick it up. A while back now, when consumer rights mattered, I had a bar fridge and the compressor, there was an issue with it, and the company came to my house, picked up the fridge. I didn't even need to package it. They just came in, picked it up, they fixed it, they dropped it back off. It was amazing. It was great. It was how things should be. So my assumption based on this wording, again, I think maybe there's a wording issue here, is that something similar is going to happen, but I don't exactly know what. I reply within the hour. I say, look, I can come to that address that you shipped it to at any day or any time that suits you. I just need to know what time. And I don't have a printer because I live out of my van. But as a result of living out of my van, I could also come to another address that suits you. Like if you have a warehouse in Sydney, I could literally drive it to that warehouse in Sydney and drop it off there for you. Like I'm trying to be flexible here. I just want this sorted. They respond the next day, which again is pretty quick. So it seems like there's this pattern of it takes a long time to get your ticket assigned to a support agent, but once assigned, they respond pretty quickly. They say, please confirm the shipping address and they will get it printed. I respond in under an hour, but again, at this point, I'm just confused. I'm like, what is actually happening here? Are you just shipping me the label? If so, like I can go to a library and print it off. Are you going to send me the packaging to that address that I can package it in? Or do I need to package it all? And if I need to package it all, then are you going to pick it up from that address? Or do I then give it to a post office? Like what exactly is happening here? I'm really confused. And I really need to know because I have things to do. I'm traveling out here in my van. I'm looking for places to rent at the moment. I don't want to have to package it in case I'm liable for shipping damage because I don't package it the way they like it. And especially for much heavier, larger products, you know, the manufacturer really should be responsible. I mean, it came on a crate and I don't have the tools to package something to that kind of level. And at this point, I don't even care if I pay for shipping. I just want it to be done properly. And I don't understand what is being shipped to me. I can either send it to the original address, which is my parents', but I don't know what's being sent to me. So if it's something too large, they're not going to be able to bring it in. There's going to be issues there. Or I can send it to my storage unit address, but that has its own issues because of the delivery to that. They can only take certain parcels, and there's also a 48-hour window in which you have to pick up something from that address. So I need to know in advance in case I'm, again, like 6 hours out of Sydney or something. I ended up just following up immediately with my storage unit address anyway, because again, I'm trying to get things going, figuring that she'll respond and answer the other questions that I have. And then I get a how would you rate their service email a few days later. Previously, I thought this meant they'd closed the ticket, but when I responded the last time that I got this email, they did respond back. So my assumption is my ticket isn't closed. They haven't answered my question, so I will wait for their response. I wait a full 5 days at this point, and because I haven't heard back, I email them. I ask, hey, where are we up to? What are you shipping to me? What are we doing? Because I'm meant to be going to Tasmania today, and I've already missed out on several inspections for houses because once she said, all right, like I'll send this to you, I came up to Sydney because again, I have this window of my storage unit where it's like, if you don't pick it up, I don't actually know what happens. You either get charged or surely they don't throw it out, but I don't know what happens. So I need to pick it up within that time window. So it's like, if you did send me something, send me an email telling me, hey, we've sent this out to you. I don't know, here's the tracking ID so you can know when it's coming. Like, I've no idea what's happening. And if I'm waiting a week for a shipping label, I would rather just print it at the library. Tell me what my options are so I can make a decision here. I sent that email 4 days ago asking what is happening, and I still haven't heard back from them. It has been a month since I asked for a return, and no real progress has been made as far as I'm concerned. So I just really wanted to get this video out there because I know that they were having a sale. I don't know if they're still having a sale. I know that some people were considering this product, and originally I was going to make a review for the product, which in itself not that great, but now I want to make a review on iTech overall, right? I think they are overpriced. They're Chinese made garbage. I used to think their service was good, but I had never actually used it, so I was dead wrong with that. I'm beyond frustrated with this. Even that Chinese company I mentioned at the beginning had much better service. They were never more than 2 days delayed in response to my issue. Yes, I had the custom issue, but that's not really their fault. So yes, I did want to talk about the product, but I'm honestly just going to tell you not to buy it now. I already have my other product. It was cheaper. It came on sale. Oh yeah, funny thing is as well, after paying 4.5k for this thing, it immediately comes on sale for 3.5k, $1,000 cheaper. Like, it's probably actually worth like 800 bucks. I don't know. So I've got this new product. I'm not going to talk about that either because that's not what this video is for, but it's so much better. It has an app. I can control charge. I can limit charging capacity. It's just infinitely better in all the ways. So do not buy this product from iTech, even if it's on sale. Here are two other options that I was looking at. I'm sure each of them has their own problems. I'm sure their companies are probably just as hard to deal with, but at least you'd be getting a better product. So that's just my recap and review of what's been happening, and I wanted to get it out there because when I was researching reviews for this product, I literally couldn't find a single like honest to god review that didn't include someone who had been sponsored by them or who had been given one of those like referral codes where they're like, use my code, get 5% off, blah 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 blah. So there wasn't a review out there that seems like it actually wasn't paid for by iTech or influenced by iTech, or just a purely honest review. And so that's why I'm putting this out there quickly, so that if anyone's considering it, you can at least take my experience and make an educated decision. Even if you decide, you know what, it's really cheap and I can deal with these issues, at least you know of what you're in for, and then you can make an educated purchase. That's all that I'm looking to get out of this, to educate you guys on my experience. And I've just told my story, hopefully as factually as possible, of what has happened to me, so that you can know what you are potentially in for.